Welcome to Unbreakably Bold. I'm your host, Christina Delgado. This podcast is for anyone who is ready to step into their power, stop doubting their abilities, and begin to live their life in alignment. On this podcast, we will talk all things mindset, relationships, personal development, confidence, and so much more. I'm here to foster intentional conversations, drop some knowledge, and learn alongside you all with the aim of showing up as empowered and unbreakably bold every single day. No matter where you are on your journey of doing the work, this podcast is guaranteed to make you feel less alone. Let's get into it, shall we? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unbreakably Bold. I am your host, Christina Delgado, hitting you up with the very first episode of the pod. Eek! This is so weird. I feel like it never is going to feel normal hopping on the mic. Like I always be getting a little bit nervous at first, but ultimately I'm so happy to be doing this project and really excited to just learn more about myself and about other people through this journey. A little bit about me. I am currently 26 years old. I am originally from California, but that like barely counts because I've been raised in Georgia for pretty much my whole life. I am a Virgo. I am a cheetah print lover, Taco Bell fanatic. I am a self-development addict and I'm a dog mom, which you should know because my dog is always like tippy-tappy running around in all of my podcast recordings. He's just always present. So watch out for Rocky. I currently am working, a typical 9-to-5 in the corporate recruiting world. And I'm also doing a couple side hustles at the moment. One being this podcast, two being dipping my toes in the e-commerce world with one of my best friends. So very excited about those opportunities and really excited to just learn so much about so many different things right now. I feel like I've never tried things the way that I'm trying things right now in my life at 26 years old. And that's honestly a huge reason why I wanted to create this podcast, Unbreakably Bold. I realized that for so long throughout my entire childhood and my teen years and, young adult, literally up until like half a year ago, I was straight up standing in my own way. I was living in fight or flight mode and so reactionary. I took everything so critically. My self-esteem was trash. My mental health was at its lowest it's ever been. I experienced a lot. And one day I just decided to finally make better choices. I decided to invest in myself. I decided to believe in myself. And that is what has taken me on this personal development and healing and ultimately growth journey. Throughout the healing and personal development journey, it hasn't been easy. I feel like a lot of people, especially right now on TikTok, I see so many people speaking about the personal development and healing journey as though it's like butterflies and rainbows, like look good, feel good, no more shitty people in your life, making better decisions, but it's freaking hard. It's so difficult. I feel like not enough people talk about the actual hard work and dedication that goes into deciding to heal yourself and to choose different patterns and to just live life differently and in a more authentic and positive way. And Unbreakably Bold for me is just that. An unbreakably bold person to me is somebody that is authentic. It's somebody who chooses themselves every single time. It's somebody who has boundaries, who believes in themselves, who believes in other people and keeps the right people around them and in their lives for the right reasons. It's somebody that goes through tough shit and makes the intentional choice to come out on the other end 10 times stronger than they were before. Growing is hard, healing is hard, life is hard. But when you're intentional about everything that you do and you respect yourself and you know your worth, the world opens up in a different way than you can ever imagine. I used to literally, I used to be so defensive. I used to take everything so personal. I used to have the lowest self-esteem, no confidence. I used to be so sick from my mental illness of depression and anxiety. And I felt like I couldn't get over that hump until one day I just decided to get over the damn hump. I decided to put in the work, and I decided to go to therapy. I decided to cut people out of my lives that don't belong there. And I decided to respect myself and my energy, all while obviously making some mistakes in the meantime. Growing is not easy. Let me tell you that much. So that is what this whole podcast is about. So let's talk what to expect from Unbreakably Bold. I will be uploading episodes every other Tuesday. These episodes will range from a few different things. So one, we will have just solo eps with just me, just your girl. I plan to drop some gems, teach you guys things that I am learning along the way, talk about my experiences, things like that. I will also be interviewing different guests. So for me, my guests are going to be a few different kinds of people. So one thing I want to do is I want to have real conversations with real people who have experienced different things in their lives that really could have pushed them back and derailed them from living a great life. And they decided to come back on top and be unbreakably bold in the way that they presented themselves to the world, and just really people who are truly authentically themselves. That's what this podcast is about. And I want to learn the behind the scenes stories of what makes people authentic and true to themselves and believe in themselves and just have this unbelievable confidence. I want to hear their experiences, and I want to learn from them as well. I will also be speaking to different interview guests who are experts in their fields based off the subjects that we're talking about. And I also would love to do some advice style episodes as well. And that'll be with me, and I'll always bring on another person because perspective is key. And ideally, it would be someone of the opposite sex. But if not, no worries. We're just going to feel it out, see what works best. So I'll definitely be posting on Unbreakably Bold Instagram, which is at Unbreakably Bold. And we'll have a way for you to send in anonymous questions, things that you need advice on, or just things that you're going through in life that you could use some support through. But above all, you can just expect real raw conversations with really freaking good people and knowledge, tips, and tricks to continue to help you grow throughout your personal development journey, your healing journey, your growth journey, whatever it looks like for you. I want this to be a very collaborative environment. I want this to be a time for me to learn as well. I would like to go on record and say I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist. None of that. I do have a psychology degree, but please don't hold me to that. This is just a random girl, aka me, who is really wanting to pour into other people and help anybody that I can with the knowledge that I've obtained throughout my journey of learning about myself, breaking negative patterns, and, breaking generational trauma as well. The healing and personal development journey, as I said, is extremely difficult, and it can also feel really, really lonely. I know that firsthand. Even when I'm surrounded by people that I love, it doesn't always feel like everybody understands who I am or what I'm trying to accomplish. A lot of people don't like when you start putting up boundaries. A lot of people's energy just doesn't gel with yours anymore when you're actively working on yourself and trying to live life differently. So this is definitely a support system to just pour into you and, really just to help you along your journey. So please don't use this as an alternative for therapy or anything like that. Please seek that out in whatever way is most comfortable for you. And just remember that I'm just sharing different things that have worked for me. Just because things work for me doesn't necessarily mean that it'll work for you, although I hope that it does. I hope that these are all pretty straightforward things that we can work on together. Another caveat that I have is that I personally do consider myself to be spiritual. And there are definitely some people who will not like to hear this, but I personally consider everybody to be a spiritual being. I don't consider spirituality to be a replacement for religion. I personally believe in God and I believe in the universe, but for me, both of those things work in different ways. So I do want to make that caveat that there's probably going to be some spiritual overlap within these episodes and within the content that you hear from me, just because that's a huge part of who I am. And going back to me feeling that everybody is spiritual in their own way, I think everyone is a spiritual being. It's just a matter of if you have become present enough and if you have taken the time to open your mind to spirituality. I understand that spirituality has a negative connotation. It's very woo-woo for people. You know, people just immediately associate it with tarot cards, crystals, you know, astrology, witchy things. And although all of those things do have to do within spirituality, they are more of resources. They are not, you know, by the book spirituality. Spirituality is a mindset. It's an energy, and it's honestly just a way of life. So I do want to throw that out there. I hope that those of you who think that spirituality is weird or that you think that you don't resonate with it, I hope that you continue to listen along throughout these episodes and just consider a different perspective. I truly think that a personal development journey as well as a healing journey coincides with a spiritual journey as well. So just dropping that little gem for you. Take that how you want it. And that pretty much wraps up this intro episode for me. Before we go, I do want to just give you guys a few different topics that Unbreakably Bold will cover. Making hard decisions, boundaries, gratitude, women in business, side hustles while having a full-time job, coming out, accountability, being bold in your salary expectations, how to command respect when you walk into a room, remaining friends with your ex, sex and how things change when you become confident in your own body, scarcity versus abundance mindset, the science of power pose, and so much more. I am so excited to get the ball rolling with this podcast. And overall, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. And I'm so grateful for anybody and everybody who listens to this podcast, who takes their time to hear these different subjects. I am always open to feedback. So please never hesitate to DM me at my personal account. You can also find me at Unbreakably Bold on Instagram. Be sure to go follow me there. That is where you will get updates on all of the episodes, hear about our guests coming on, and honestly, just follow along with the journey. And as always, every rating, review, subscription is so helpful and will keep the show going and growing. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I will catch you over at the next episode. You guys have a good one. Bye.